Welcome to the Let's Talk Politics Alabama podcast with your host, Daniel Stover and Russ Sanders, where we take a look at Alabama politics like a drive down I-65 from North Alabama to the state capital in Montgomery and all the way to the Sugar Sand Coast.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit, for political purposes, my opponent's youth and inexperience.
We choose truth over facts.
I don't want to speak negatively. I said, though, that if I lose this election, maybe I'll end up moving to Alabama.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk Politics Alabama with our good buddy Russ over there. And we've got a new friend down here with us, Mr. Josh Woods from Mobile. Josh and I go back a few years here. I think we were reminiscing about 10. We figured we were in the Young Republicans together. Josh was our treasurer and tried to keep up with all of our spending. And I'm not sure if he did a good job or not. Just saying. But glad to have you, Josh. Let's see. Now, you're chairman of the Mobile Fair, right?
That's true. Yeah. So obviously, spent time with you as the treasurer of the Alabama Young Republican Federation. Currently, now my real job is I'm the executive director at the grounds of the Greater Upstate Fair here in Mobile.
Yeah. You're still driving around and doing inappropriate things with a fiberglass cow, right?
We are. We have a 13.5 foot fiberglass cow that we travel amongst the county and even over to Baldwin County occasionally to promote the fair. So she's her name's JC, and we travel around with her quite a lot and promote the fair.
You hadn't taken out any stoplights or anything, right?
No. There's a couple times that I thought about a couple like low hanging limbs, but we've managed to survive.
So I remember also you were voted the Mobile County Republicans MVP. That's most valuable pachyderm for those that don't know. Well,
Yeah.
they just retired that after you, right? I mean, you're just so energetic.
I think they still give it out, but yeah, that's true. I guess back in the day, I was the MVP, most valuable pachyderm. So.
And as we can hear in the background, you're up to 3 kids. Russ, maybe you'll end up knowing what that's like one day. You're on 1. You still get the rest.
Yeah, she's in bed.
So, Josh, we wanted to have you on because you decided to take and put yourself out there and run for an office here. Your current council member there in your District 6 in Mobile County or Mobile City is retiring, Miss Bess Rich. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so kind of looking at our district, so Mobile has 7 city council districts encompassing the entire city, and obviously there's some areas around that, the police jurisdiction that we go out to. But as far as like city council's District 6, a lot of this area is mostly residential, and that makes sense because a lot of people live here. Our current city council member is retiring, but even before she decided to retire, we decided that something needed to be done, or that a younger voice and a voice of the future needed to be represented. So we announced that we were going to run. Shortly after that, our current city council member decided that she was not going to run after 19 years of service, and now we're running for District 6 along with 3 other representatives, and mainly our campaign's focused on what the future looks like and representing all the voices of the district and representing the district moving forward.
Yeah, I was poking around on the internet here. You can find out everything on the internet now. It's all believable. Your other 3 opponents don't seem to have declared any type of party affiliation, but BamaPolitics.com was real quick to stick that Republican label on you.
Yeah, I think that's given my history, that's that's one thing that people can kind of put a pin in me on. But yeah, it's local politics. outside of being the dog catcher, local politics is the closest to the people. And a lot of times, especially in Mobile, municipal elections are nonpartisan. So, not only, given my conservative roots and what I believe politically and personally, not only I'm going to represent that, but also I realize too that no matter what flag you have in front of your door, what sign you have in front of your house, it's very important that I'll listen to you and take all points of view into consideration, and then we'll make a decision. So really, even though I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican conservative that's running for this district, I realize, and given my time in Young Republicans working with various factions of the Young Republican Party and the Republican Party, I realize that I have to represent all the people, and that's one of the core beliefs of what Republicans believe. So definitely, I'm knocking on doors that may not agree with me, and at the end of the day, I'm going to represent what they believe and what the people believe.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about it before. That Republican name really just gives everybody a good foundation of what your beliefs are. Doesn't mean that you agree with everything that the Republican Party stands for, but it gives everybody a basis to start from and go, oh, well, he probably believes in sanctity of life, guns, small
Fiscal
government,
conservatism, responsibility of government, and that gives us a good base, and then we build upon that. And as you know, Daniel, we're a lot of times maybe our party gets painted as, well, they just believe this. Well, that's not really true. When you get down to your values, we're willing to think about things, and we're willing to make a decision. But we have to know all facts of the decision before we come to a decision. So that's really a key basis in what we believe.
Yeah, I'm working on getting John Wall on with us as well, our state Republican chairman, and that's one of those things that I want to delve more off in with him, is what our basis of Republican is and what it's not. So since we're talking about Mobile, there's a little bit of a dredging job that's supposed to be starting down there. I don't know if it has or not. I've yet to figure out that one for sure, but kind of wondering, what kind of industry are you seeing moving in, and is that ship channel getting widened and deepened here?
Yeah, I can't tell you if the boats are here or not, because that's kind of like a strange little deal. They dredge everything, but the decision was made to widen the Mobile Bay Channel, so that the Port of Mobile could accept more ships and more heavy laden ships, I guess, especially have a basin to turn around and be able to go back out. Kind of looking at the industry, obviously up in North Alabama and connecting to North Alabama, there's a lot of car manufacturing. Middle Alabama, there's car manufacturing. Down here in Mobile, there's also a lot of industry. Raw steel. So raw steel comes in, raw steel gets rolled, produced and rolled. And then it gets shipped out to other countries. So there's a lot of things that are shipping in Mobile, and then also obviously from the state as a whole, there's a lot of things that are shipping out of Mobile. So the Port of Mobile is very important, and it provides not only jobs here down in Mobile, which I'm extremely excited about, but it also provides jobs throughout the state of Alabama. I know there's a lot of economic incentives. There's a lot of these small economic areas, especially around car plants and manufacturing plants across the state that are going to benefit from the widening of the channel, and then ultimately the widening of the ship basin and everything like that, because it's going to be a very much closer. I think Jacksonville has a deep port. New Orleans obviously has a deep port. So if we can take all that stuff that goes out to those areas through trucks and through shipping and through trains, and then we can funnel them down to Mobile, we're ultimately going to make Mobile and also make the state a very, very popular and incentivizing place for companies to locate and ship their product from. So we're excited down here in Mobile. Not only is the the shipping industry and the port here a economic incentive to us, but it's an economic incentive for the entire state.
I know there's a Toyota Mazda's going to be real big at shipping down there. From what I understood, they were supposed to be like one of the largest car shipping facilities that was supposed to be added in as part of the conditions of deepening and widening the bay was to get this large car shipping industry in down there. Are you seeing any of that starting now?
So I'll give you a good example. The Civic Center, our convention center is situated above the railroad tracks that kind of funnel down into that area. And it's not wise to park your car. If you have an event at the Civic Center, it's not wise to park your car over the railroad tracks under the Civic Center because there's constant freight going on. So we're really excited about what's going to happen. I mean, as you know, not only has the dredging been approved and the dredging's taken place, but the city docks or the state docks have also grown tremendously. We have some of the biggest cranes that take off that are able to service and take advantage of the ships that come in with containers. We're really excited down here in Mobile. We have tremendous space that's been developed and ready to I guess service all the industry of the state. And I can tell you firsthand that it's coming to the state because you definitely don't want to cross those railroad tracks and park over there.
You and Russ were talking a minute ago too about some of your downtowns getting tore up too with all of this. I forget what street y'all were talking about, but
Broad Street.
You're more worried about getting the most barbecue than if the street's going to get fixed. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. And on that, so if you think about Mobile as a whole, everything flows down to the bay, obviously, or the Mobile River. Everything flows down there. So every drop of water that takes place eventually, I would imagine, kind of flows towards that. District 6 tends to be at the top of that. So everything flows down there. So obviously, as every older city, Mobile is one of the oldest cities, or is the oldest city in the state of Alabama. As you can imagine, that things are older and things are a little bit outdated and worn. So the city started addressing those issues and they're kind of moving back. So what they've done is they've taken an approach of where does the water go? We have to start there. So Broad Street's a good example of where the water goes when it rains. And so we've started addressing stormwater management, sewage, things like that, and kind of working back. And it has caused a little inconvenience me personally because I can't get to Moe's barbecue quite as fast as I normally would. But I do take some detours and make sure I get there.
I noticed when I was down there I started going down there over the past few months, and I noticed that, I really didn't realize how big Mobile was because I don't go down to Mobile very often based off of geography and living way up in North Alabama. But when I was down in Mobile, I noticed on the side of the road, like when I was driving through the shipping area, I saw like the Netherlands, Germany, and a lot of the European nations flags flying. So it was obvious to me that, hey, Mobile Bay is a little bit bigger deal than I realized because we're shipping stuff or receiving goods from them through the Mobile Bay. Obviously, if those flags were so prominently displayed down there.
That's very true. So Mobile plays a very important role in shipping, and that's one thing that we take pride in. The actual shipping container was developed and implemented out of Mobile. Fire ants, was actually, unfortunately, knock on wood, was brought to America through Mobile and the banana trade. But Mobile is a hugely important port as far as the city and the country and the state's concerned, and we take pride in that. Any given day, you can walk down Canal Street and see numerous flags of different ships. So that kind of just shows how important Alabama plays ultimately in the shipping industry for the United States.
Well, now talking about all those different countries and everything, I have to ask one question. Is the Leprechaun in your district?
The Leprechaun's not in my district, but as collectively, so there's district issues and there's city issues. This is a city issue, and we take great pride in the Leprechaun. Eventually, we'll find him.
Just with that pot of gold, hopefully.
That was actually one of the first young Republican conventions I attended. Riding in an elevator, somebody asked where I was from. I said, Mobile, Alabama. And they said, home of the Leprechaun? Yeah, we're home of the Leprechaun.
Is it true that Mobile had Mardi Gras before New Orleans?
Oh, very much true. New Orleans didn't even think about Mardi Gras before Mobile decided to do it. We like to think that we know that our people, Joe Kane, folks like that went over to New Orleans to help encourage them to start Mardi Gras. So yeah, we're home of the original Mardi Gras.
A lot of people don't realize that.
No, those Louisiana people lied to you a little bit.
What about is Airbus or something expanding down there as well?
There is. So if you think back, I guess about 15 years ago, Airbus made a bid to build the United States tanker, or the new Air Force tanker. They made a bid for that contract, and by the way, Boeing won that after Airbus won it, and Boeing has yet to fulfill everything that the Air Force is required. I think they're having a lot of issues and things like that. So the Air Force has put that back to rebid as far as design's concerned and builders concerned. But yeah, we Airbus decided that Mobile was a great place due to our deep water channel and our deep water port and all the things that Mobile has to offer. The skills that our citizens have and the citizens of Alabama have. And they decided to be a assembly plant for the Air Force tanker, and unfortunately, the Air Force went back on that, decided to take that and give it to Boeing. Long story short, now we're actually an assembly line for the Airbus 320 and other models of airplane. So we're producing numerous airplanes out every year. I want to say that they're stacked up through 2025, the last I heard. And we've just become like an airplane assembly plant down here, and it's employed numerous people across our area, giving them extreme skills that we never thought that we would have. During World War II, Mobile was a key player in delivering ships to the Navy. Now we're becoming a key place to deliver airplanes to manufacture or to different airplane folks that, Delta, United, we're becoming we are a key place that delivers that to people. On top of that, Airbus has went into our schools here locally, multiple schools. They're training kids, to engineer airplanes, to assemble airplanes, to do amazing things, and they're hiring them when they come out of high school. So we have an awesome, aviation industry going on down here in Mobile. So we're excited about that. And with the rebid of the airplane or the air refueling tanker, we're excited about what that might hold for Mobile moving forward.
Is that redesigning the KC-135, or are you familiar with the name of the place?
Yeah. So the KC-135 is the new Boeing plane, and due to some technical difficulties, they've decided to rebid that. So Airbus has an amazing product that they've implemented across the world, and so I think they've rebid that. So we'll see what that happens. And ultimately, we hope here in Mobile, I can't tell you anything, can't promise you anything, but ultimately we kind of hope as the citizens of Mobile that if that's chosen, that we'll open up another assembly line out there at the Airbus plant.
There's a pretty significant military presence down there in Mobile. You have the Coast Guard Center down there. You have the Marine Reserve unit that's down there. You have a significant National Guard unit that's down there. There's a lot of stuff going on down there people don't realize.
There is, looking at Mobile, we have obviously we have Brookley that was closed, I guess, in the 60s, 70s. That was a major major airport for the U.S. But outside of that, once that closed, we've had people step into Brooklyn, whether that's Airbus over the past couple of years, kind of utilize that airport or that airstrip. On top of that, we have Austal, which is developing the LCS program. They've also that's an aluminum ship, and we have Citizens of Alabama and People of Alabama building naval ships down here in Mobile. They've also, I guess, just entered into some steel contracts, so they'll be building steel ships as well. If you look kind of our connection over to Mississippi and Pascagoula, you have Ingalls, where a lot of people are employed, and they're building steel ships. They're building U.S. Army ships. On top of that, we have a Coast Guard base. Well, actually, we have two Coast Guard bases. We have the Coast Guard training base. We have the Coast Guard base down there located at Brooklyn. That flies and takes care of everybody on the bay. We have reserve groups. So yeah, Mobile is a hotbed of activity when it comes to service.
So looking at your website, I noticed that you had a little blurb on there about some sort of annexation vote. Y'all trying to take over Dufane and all the surrounding areas, kind of like Madison and Huntsville's doing, or what?
Yeah, well, kind of add some context to that. I guess it's about 4 years ago, give or take. A lot of the outlying areas. So Mobile has been a city, I guess, 10 years ago was a city about 190, 180, 86, 85,000 people. But as you know, a lot of times growth in a city occurs on the outside, occurs on the wings. There's suburbs that happen. There's different communities that happen outside of the city. And normally, the city kind of comes in without a lot of discussion. There's police jurisdiction that happens. Maybe that's 3 miles or 5 miles. There's always that ring around the city that takes care of people. And, in exchange, they pay a percentage of taxes, whether that's property taxes and things like that, to the city. So Mobile's kind of at a place where, we're landlocked over here with the bay. There's not much you can do on the east. On the north side, we've had cities kind of come in, and cities have. That's my littlest one say. We've had cities on the north part come in, and they've incorporated. So Mobile's kind of, for the most part, locked in on the north. But there's all this westward growth that we can take advantage of. A lot of times people are receiving services out there, and yet they're not part of the city. They might be receiving fire, they might be receiving police, but yet they're not part of the city. So there's been legislation on the state side of the House that said that the city can pull back some, or the city can pull back this. Well, it's left a lot of our outlying communities in the police jurisdiction. It's left a lot of them without fire service. They might still be receiving city police service, but they're not receiving the fire service or the EMT service. So these communities came and they wanted to petition the city council. And there's 3 ways to annex in the state of Alabama. The first one is the people request, and the city council grants them the ability to vote to come into a city. The second one is the city just goes and takes them over. And then the third is that by state legislative action, they're encompassed into the city. So a couple of years ago, people came to the city, and the city council, and they're like, hey, we want to annex. We think that we're going to be of value to the city. We think the city will benefit from us. And ultimately, the Mobile City Council decided that wasn't in the city's interest, and they decided not to let those people vote. So one of the things that I'm running on, representing District 6, is, we adjoin a lot of these areas. And I'm not saying that the city doesn't need to grow within. There's not properties in the city that we need to try to recruit people to grow and renovate and be a part of the city. We don't want people, I'm not saying we don't want people to come into the city and live in the city as it is. But what I'm saying is, while I'm a proponent of that, but I'm also a proponent of looking out to our borders and saying, hey, these people want to be a part of the city. So let's allow them the right, which is an American right, allow them the right to come in and vote if they want to be a part of the city. And I believe, and after talking to a lot of people outside in the county, in the police jurisdiction, I believe that a lot of people will decide that they want to come into the city and be a part of the city, which will ultimately, increase our population, increase our stature in the state, make us available for, state programs and federal programs. But also at the end of the day, that's a tax base that yeah, we're servicing, we're spending money with these people as a city, but they're also contributing, and they're contributing towards the ultimate goal of making our city a better place. So that's a long discussion of that. So
y'all ain't trying to be bigger than Huntsville's. They say that Huntsville's going to outgrow every city in the state. Are y'all trying to any kind of competition there?
No, all I'm saying is that if people want to join your city, whether you're Mobile, Huntsville, Montgomery, Birmingham, or Monroeville, if people want to join your city to take advantage of the services, it's their right to be able to vote to decide if they want to be part of it.
Well, if they don't like it down there and don't get to vote on it, they can move up here to Moulton and grow us from 3,500 or 4,000. They can grow us a little bit more.
And I'm actually after this, I'm going to take that quip and I'm probably going to make it part of a commercial for me. So
go for it, man.
Here's a piece of useless trivia a lot of people don't know. Tags in the state of Alabama. So Jefferson County's 1, Mobile's 2, Montgomery County's 3. It's based off the first 3 are based off population of the county, and then following that, it's alphabetical order all the way up to 67. With Winston County, our neighboring county to the south, is the last one in the alphabet.
I like to play the game of like when we travel across Alabama. What number is that? Baldwin County.
But I wonder if that ever changed if the population of Madison County became bigger than Mobile. I just thought that was interesting.
I think that's already at a point that they should be looking at that if that was a case of doing that. I mean,
probably requires a bunch of laws to be changed.
Well, how we have to vote on whether, Josh and them can get garbage service somewhere. We have to make that a statewide amendment. A lot of people don't understand how much that affects those counties. And, I'm kind of the opinion of, well, let them decide. But according to our state constitution, everybody gets a vote. It's kind of like Oprah, you get a vote, you get a vote, you get a vote. So, it's just one of those things, like you said, there's 3 ways of doing it. And that third one is the whole state gets to vote. So, and we see a lot of that from down y'all's way there. There's always something from Mobile or Blount or one of those counties down there down south.
Well, we try to stir things up, keep you on your toes.
Well, we know how you are with cows. So, I poking around a little bit on the internet, I also noticed that Jim Ziegler's favorite thing, the toll bridge, has come back to life. Did you get the paddles out and shock it? I mean, what's going on with that?
No, so obviously the toll bridge has been talked about a lot. Probably more than you want to hear about it, I guess, up your way. But down here, the toll bridge, I mean, Daniel, I mean, you drove through the tunnel. All of a sudden, you're zooming along, everything's good. Then all of a sudden, there's like a 90-degree tunnel that you have to figure out how to navigate. So ultimately, there's been a lot of discussion on the toll bridge, of the bridge. There's been toll, no toll, truck toll. We're going to have a free bridge for everybody, bicycle lanes, yada, yada, yada. So the most recent, I guess, proposition maybe that's existing is, tunnels are free. Whether that's the Bankhead or the Wallace Tunnel, both of those are free. The Cochran Bridge, which, you have to get off the interstate and you go around to the Cochran Bridge and it rejoins you on the interstate. that's also a free route. But then there's also the most recent proposition is a truck only toll bridge that immediately, you're coming from Mississippi, coming from Florida, and you have to take that bridge. That's actually kind of like a hot button issue. People expect you to take a stand on. The Mobile City Council that I'm running for, believe it or not, doesn't have a say in that per se. But personally, what I believe is that existing routes that are already established, whether that's the Wallace Tunnel, the Bankhead Tunnel, the Cochran Bridge, those should remain free. And whatever happens, whether it's a truck bridge or a toll bridge, which is kind of my preferred, the toll bridge is kind of my preferred option. That's a tolled route. But ultimately, I'm as far as running for city council, having to take a stand on it. I'm for keeping or maintaining the exact routes as a free route. So,
You mean those new bridges aren't free?
So right now
I'm talking about to build. I'm talking about to build them. They're not free.
They're believe it or not, they're not free. Being the conservative, the Goldwater conservative part of me, realizing that when there's an investment, there needs to be a return. So that's why I say that anything new, definitely I believe there should be some form of return if an investment is made, especially a private investment. If a private investment is made, I think there needs to be a return. But on the other side of the house, the tunnels that are existing and things like that, they've been paid for probably 1,000 times over. So I firmly believe those need to be free.
Coming from the engineering side of that, hey, even talking about it, it's not free.
No, it probably costs you about $5.25 an hour.
So you kind of touched on some things with going on downtown. Tell us a little bit about Mobile tourism, what's going on, things that might get some of our people up here interested to come down and spend a few dollars down there in good old Mobile.
Yeah, well, definitely we have the cruise ship. So we're probably, I guess, last news I've seen that in October, it looks like we're gonna have a cruise ship back, a Carnival cruise ship back. So that's always a plus as far as tourism. But Daniel, Mobile's just a good place to come down and kind of plunk around. We have everything from a 1700 graveyard to an 1800 church to numerous places downtown where you can come and grab a good bite to eat. Looking out West Mobile my way in District 6, we have numerous small restaurants from a Thai restaurant that probably would rock your world. We eat there quite a good bit. Shout out to Benja's. We eat there quite a bit. But Mobile is just a great place, especially if you're from Alabama. It's a great place to come and have a staycation. It's you can easily spend 3, 4, or 5 days just hanging out in Mobile and getting to know kind of the culture of especially the French, the English, the culture down here, and obviously Mardi Gras is a huge draw. So I would encourage everybody to come down for Mardi Gras.
Yeah, don't you get out there and dance in front of everybody in front of the parade or something? Or,
No, I don't do
weren't
that.
you named king or something? I don't know.
Daniel, me and the kids get out there and we just catch moon pies. That's all we do.
I have a big warship museum down there as well.
We do. We have the USS Alabama, which is, believe it or not, the USS Alabama was brought to Mobile in the state of Alabama by kids across the state, I guess, fundraising with pennies and dimes and nickels. So we also have the USS Alabama, the pavilion there, which is an amazing, it sits on an amazing piece of property that kind of overlooks the first part of the Mobile River out to the bay. And the fishing, I mean, I would be remiss to tell you that as the fair, the Great Gulf State Fair, which occurs in October, November. We're a project of the Mobile JCs, the Mobile Junior Chamber of Commerce. The Mobile Junior Chamber of Commerce also hosts the world's largest fishing tournament every year in the summer, the Alabama Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo. We have the Zaya Trail Maze as well. So Mobile is definitely full of a lot of stuff to come and take in.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the Battleship Park. They're actually one of Russ and I's neighbors. His dad was actually killed in Desert Storm, and his dad's name is actually on the F4 sitting out at the road. And you know, I've been down there several times. In fact, we held the part of the National Young Republicans Conference
Convention
down there. And I'll put in a plug for my favorite place, unless it's blown away, is Felix's Fish Camp that sits right in front of it. So
still there.
Love it. That's some of the best seafood that Mobile's got, I do believe. So.
You can't beat the gumbo, and you can't beat the shrimp and grits.
Oh, and the what was it? Soft shell crab. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, Josh. Well, anything else you want to add in?
Not much. We kind of covered it all. Again, I'm running for District 6, ultimately part of Mobile. We're looking forward to providing good government, providing great communities, excellent neighborhoods. So we're excited about the next couple of weeks to see what that holds. But regardless of win or loss, we're definitely a big proponent of what Mobile and ultimately the state of Alabama has.
Yeah. What's the date of that election again?
August 24th. I'll be sweating it out until then, knocking on doors and asking for people's votes.
And if you're down in that area, or you just want to know a little bit more about Josh, go look up his website and Facebook.
That's true. Vote Josh Woods on Facebook and votejoshuwoods.com on the internet.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting in with us. I will throw a couple of little local issues in here. Something I noticed last night watching a little bit of the Olympics. Did y'all know that we've got a long jumper actually from Huntsville in the Olympics? He's actually going to be jumping for the gold, I think, maybe tonight. Javon Harrison. They popped up, the whole hometown group, and that was in Huntsville. I was like, wow, didn't know that. So,
yeah, we actually had a swimmer from Mobile, Alabama that I think it was maybe silver or bronze at play. So we're really excited down here. We have Olympic fever, I guess, a little bit.
It seems to be catching across the state. So
there's also a female from Phoenix City that won the skeet shooting.
That's right. I want to think there was an archery one too somewhere near Alabama. It wasn't in Alabama, but anyways,
we're a hotbed. So Paige Madden is the name of the swimmer from Mobile. So I mean, Alabama, we're making Olympic history.
Hey, we're representing. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, appreciate y'all coming by. Thanks again, Josh, for coming and sitting with us and just telling us about what's going on down there in Mobile, giving us an update, telling us about what you're doing as far as being trying to be councilman for District 6 there.
Hopefully we can hear back from you after you win and give us some updates about Mobile and what's happening down there.
That's right.
Sure.
We'll be behind you from up here. As far, we're way behind you, like way back up here in North Alabama behind you. So, if you're watching us if you're not watching us on YouTube, make sure to go over and check out our YouTube channel. Give us 5 stars if you're listening on the podcast on one of the platforms. And until next time, y'all have a safe and wonderful time. Russ, Josh, I'll give y'all the last words.
Y'all be good.
Appreciate you having me.
Thank y'all.